confluence is when your tools, your technical analysis line up. And when I said I like to do all the technical analysis first and then put the indicators on, because if my TA says this is what I think is going to happen and I flash on the indicators and it all lines up, fuck yeah, I'm in. And the more those tools we have line up together to give you the same info, that's confluence. Boom. And I love confluence. I love when markets are reacting, the way we look at them, when we're looking at them. If you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome to Not Financial Advice, of fucking course. We have tonight's show is unbelievably show number 56. Kate may or may not be joining us. If you do know, our thoughts are with her and her family and her dad. I was going through a little bit of rougher times at the moment with some heart surgery, but she's been like a champ between being mom and nurse and helping dad, and usually here for the show. So thoughts are with her, the family, and what she would always say, it's, how we look at making responsible trading decisions is watching the market cap, the money flow cycle. So if you're trading on the shorter time frames, you want to understand how the money in crypto is moving. That way you will maximize your trades and your percentages. If you're in for the long term and you're holding for long term, just getting into good projects early and holding them like we've been showing has been extremely profitable. Trading in and out of them has been as well. So let's dig right into it and get into the money flow. Sorry, I can't see any of you now. I'm back to my screen. She's really good for that when she's here. The market cap is doing great. This is nice rebound. Ever since we got in this belly and we were getting concerned, like anything below here, I was danger, and these were the one-offs, and this was our rectangle before. But this was our total rectangle of where we kept staying in and our bottom. Now we're massively above it, and we have new support in this 2.5. And if you've been watching me long enough to know that this is our magic number. This is the psychology area now that we're in. And it's fresh week. Money started trickling in a little while ago. And now we're having a little bit of cool off. In what time are we on? 4 hours? Sure, why not? It seems in this area. And we'll take the wicks on the market cap. And let's see where this goes to. Okay. So lots of resistance here at this. Same here. Support here. Shire. But clearly having trouble breaking the 2.6. And remember, 3-ish is our all-time high. Just over. And very briefly. So when we look at the big picture and we zoom out and we've come all the way from down here, that's a massive gain of 63% in 49 days. So a few downs, stabilization, up, stabilization, healthy. And with the narrative that we're weaving with everything going on in the markets with the ETFs and, more commercial than retail money yet. I mean, I don't watch TV very often at all. You may learn this, but I saw a commercial on how to protect your crypto over the weekend. And I was like, oh yeah, retail's here. Missed that one there. So I would expect to see a little bit of bounce, but you know what I'm going to say is we need to hold this level And we need to retest this level before we can usually typically break through it. So we might do this S curve in here, or we might break off. Or if these lines, if our micro bears curl, if this starts to curl and goes down, we know money's leaving the market. And then, of course, if money's leaving the market, prices are shitting the bed. But we don't have indication. We still have spread. We have cool off consolidation after a nice big up. Healthy, take profits, cool off, keeping a support area. And we're coming into where money looks like it's about to flow back in. We haven't curled and we still have spread. This is on the 4 hours. On the daily, we look healthy. Hopefully a little and then off. On the weekly, lots of legs. Lots of legs to run. And this is why we don't panic in those days or periods when everybody else does, and we see them as opportunities to buy or to add more to our bags of some of our investments because we're dollar cost entry. Remember when we're talking about staying above the median, the white middle line of the Bollinger Bands on the way up. And this is what we were trying to fight in here. And that's what we talked about, was staying above the median. Now we're above the median again. We just want to keep this trend. And if we look at it on the daily, actually, hold on. I'm just going to delete that stuff. This is kind of the trend line we're walking up towards our $3 trillion GFE. Sorry. Maybe it's the mouse on this particular table that I'm at today. And we can see we also have a top. This will be the point of contention. Do we break out or do we break down? And this is what the indicators help us with. This is the TA of the pattern that is happening. It could just rocket off right now, and it could come down, form a double top, could form a head and shoulders. There's lots of possibilities. I would like to see it retest out here, do a little this, break out, retest in here, and then up, healthy pullback. And we get these nice triangles. And then up, you know, ooh, oh, sorry, that is this table where I am. And this nice triangles. That's what I would like to continue to see. And I think, to be honest, this is what we're on trajectory for. This is how Bitcoin's been kind of walking around lately in price value. We've drawn this out a few times. Let's see how this plays out on our total market cap. For Confluence, we have spread and just a little bit of pullback right here. This is all good. I mean, this sucked. If you're swinging in and out, and you got in here on Euphoria, I think it was going to go over and it came down. This is what we were talking about, round tripping. So it took you this long to get back if you held. And when we talked about what was happening in the Discord live when it happened, these were our TAs. And in this period, we recovered this loss with our trades. And then we waited for this belly to get in, had this slight fake out, but now we're off. And all I've done since we've done this, when we did it live in the Discord, and you can see it all, is we just keep extending the same things we drew. And you can see, and we do this quick and dirty, you know, right? So there's a line we could have adjusted higher for. Well, that's where it pulled down to. It's now fighting this area and holding it, which was our resistance. This is a sign of health. This is good. And we have the spread. And down here, we have a money entering situation for the market cap. So the outlook of the week looks good. Right, I got two different versions of how we've been drawing, so I've been trying to save them for us to see how it kind of plans out. And these might happen a little over down here. They might not happen as fast, but we'll see how the patterns play. These are the possibilities. And if we're going to go down, we're probably always going to be going down into this realm where we were just fighting before we got this belly. Dominance. Can't wait for this thing to finally go down into alt season. We are not in alt season. We're still in Bitcoin season. We're just channeling this path that we did a while ago. And most likely it looks like we're starting to come down, which would be a nice run for alts this week. And this is on the 4 hours. This would make sense that we come down. Still not seeing, you know, the massive downs of the past that we're used to. I won't get into it. It's 4 hour, but we know they're coming and they can come fast. It'd be nice to finally break out of this channel, but like I said, we can just keep extending it and see how it goes. Nothing over the last while, we've been following and talking in our Discord and here, nothing's been a real big surprise. And it's interesting when you look at some of this stuff. I mean, even when we did the breakout for Bitcoin, and we know it can break out above or below, but we talked about the sentiment and that we've cooled off from NFA's critical greed indicator. So it makes sense we're going to go this way. And what did we say? We're going to try to get up to this line here, this 73-ish, contest it, which most likely will be where it resists. We have to break out, retest above it before we can take off. We're still staying on this upwards trajectory of Bitcoin with healthy pullbacks. This is a great sign. I know that, Bing. Welcome to the stage, young lady.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm trying some earbuds. How do I sound? Do I need to reassess?
You sound fine to me. So
Sweet.
Here we are.
No need to recap. I'm kicking in. I'm going to rewatch later. Let's do it.
No worries. We were just on Bitcoin. Great to have you back. We will continue. Basically, Bitcoin's doing what we want it. Like, it's been doing this since we talked, you know, made sense with the all-time high of ever at the time, the long hold, you know, gangster move, cash out, whole lot of furia, pull back, indicators telling us, yeah, it's time to go again. We got the compression, we got the breakout. Now we're retesting the value in here. Our next step is to retest this ceiling. Confirm with the close above it before we can take off. Because if it just rockets up and it doesn't close, it's just going to come down again. It's just a pump. But we can also see with our stochastic, money is about to come in. You're coming into a buying area typically when this happens. So it means it might curl a little bit. This will be interesting to watch. This is on the 4 hour. What's it looking like if we zoom in? other than ugly with all our drawings. You know, up, a little bit up. We still got, we'll probably in the next little bit do this W motion, this up and down, which is healthy. We just left a buy.
Can you draw a little doodle of what you just said? Just that little up and down in that area?
Right? Like, so we basically came up to this area, right? Down, up to this area. Now we're
Yeah.
down and probably going to get up to this area. Then we're probably going to come down. We're probably
Love
going
it.
to come up, right? And this is the healthy part of consolidation.
Yeah. I'm so glad you did that because I wanted to be able to come back in however long that is and see what you just said. Thank you.
And we also know this is a bullish. I'm having a brain gap here. Pendant flag equal on, well, right now maybe not equal on top, but we're starting to form this pattern. If it forms it, which then is a breakout, which this would come over. But hope that helped. So,
No, I'm so glad I'm glad you did that because the first time you said it, I thought, let's see if that's true.
So we're getting
Is that
these little.
Is that the same? I'm confused. Where are we? Is that the same squiggle there on a different timeline?
No, this is what we were talking about earlier with the where we want to break out. So Bitcoin's been coming down this trend. We were compressing in. We drew these lines ages ago. We called this breakout.
I don't need this much. I'm sorry, I don't need this much of a recap. I just wanted to clarify something just before.
Oh, that's what these squiggles are here for, is to get out of this consolidation area up to the localized high, which we need to retest. I mean, that technically should be right there on the box, but it was just because it was quick and dirty. Before we can take off again. That's supposed to be an up arrow. I guess I have to get better at drawing. I apologize.
I think it's great. I'm following it. If you're not following it, people, let us know, because it would be weird if we kept teaching you crap that you can't understand.
And this was from before, so yeah, the squiggles on the 4 hour of where I think we're at would be this, you know, and it's important to maintain this level. We need to maintain this level. If we don't, it is going to come down to in here. But if we do, then it's going to keep trying to get to these levels in here, and it'll go up and hopefully pull back and then hopefully break. Now, the other thing we always say with Bitcoin, this can happen on one candle, right? This could just go right now, but it would need to still come down and settle above here before it took off again to give confluence of, you know, the retest. And small movement is healthier. These ups and downs are healthier. We want to do these ladders up, just like we've been talking with Ethereum since day one. All this little laddering up that we drew in, and then now, I mean, this is a little high for our projection of where we wanted to be at, but I mean, it's the same pattern. It's a little slower. You know, my bad, I didn't line it up perfectly, but you know, so it's sometimes also more about understanding what's actually happening and why we put these lines. And when we take the lines away to make it more sense, understand how our tools that we use work. Because when you combine those couple of skill sets together, I think we've shown now for 56 shows that, you know, how accurate you can get within reason, not financial advice. And we don't have a crystal ball. There's black swans, there's corruption, markets go down. You know, what happened with KuCoin today, or I think that was today, and stuff like that. Why I would say it's important to have multiple exchanges. But in terms of Ethereum, we just got the bullish cross. We've been building pressure and maintaining value in here. It's just going to continue to work its way up. It's just going to continue to do this and hopefully stay above the median. Because right now it is technically below it. but we did get the cross. It has had a lot of cool off. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. I still think we're going to just follow this pattern. So that's our market flow. The dominance of the money the money coming in, the market flow, the dominance of where it's at, being, is it in the alts? Is it in Bitcoin? Looks like hopefully this week we'll start to see this start to trickle down and see this run into the alts, because we're already seeing some already. And we got to remember, this is harder to push down when this is pushing up. Because more money when it first comes in goes straight into the market cap. All right, the ones we typically always look at lately has been Cosmos, Atom, and this still has a lot to run, and we've pulled a few entries out of this already. It's still looking like it wants to get that bullish cross. We're at the belly. We know it looks like on the money flow cycle that money's coming in this week. We can see a triangle forming. So pressure is building. We've had lots of down and neglect. We've just left a couple of buy situations from Bollinger, Stochastic, our micro bear to be safe, to add to those confluences. And we've been on a path up, steady. Same thing. There'll probably be pullbacks here and there, but sometimes steady does lead to quick ones of these, as you can see. This is under not a lot of people's radar. I mean, it's a well-known token, but there is a lot of room to grow still with it. And I think anywhere in this last little bit would have been a good entry, has been a good entry. We've had good entries on it in the past here. Good long hold as well. Happy with where that's at. Phantom is, I mean, hilarious. Our entry was here for the show. This is what we were talking about with the dominance, with these triangles that just keep breaking out, going up, breaking out, going up. We are starting to see the slightest tiny little bit of curl, but we still have a ton of spread. And every time I think this wants to curl and change, it just proves us wrong. So it's been a heck of a ride. You've gotten a few entries with us on it. If you're still in it, why not? I mean, it looks like it's been holding this local low lately on the 4s. Could see what this micro bear on the 4 brings. Might get an entry in this little bit here. All right, so if we got the actual cross and it went into the micro bear and it was a shallow one just like the other one, then we would get the cross again to contest, this level here. This is what I'd be waiting for. There's no guarantee, obviously. Indicators are coming right up to a buy position. That's always nice to see when that happens right away. It hasn't looking like it's been breaking the bottom of the Bollinger Band very often on the 4-hour time level often. We've had a parallel channel down, so it makes sense to consolidate, retest, and go. This next candle on this time frame would actually be your retest. So Phantom, if you haven't been in it, I don't know how much legs are left. I mean, our entry was ages ago, but we're still early in the market in terms of the bull run and in terms of the alt run. There's still lots of profits to be made. I mean, even if it was just right now, here today's price to, the candle body highs somewhere in there, that's a 10%. Not financial advice, fucking course, do your math. But it could also just start consolidating in here and doing these few options that could happen is, it could start doing this It could do what it has been doing and then take off and then do it for a little bit and then take off again. Or it could finally come down and start to be sold off and find a bottom. Is that a possibility? Right now, with the narrative of all this, I don't see that as likely. But I would watch. Looks like we're about to, on the next candle bit, this could be interesting entry and go. To me, this looks like fantasy more than these look like reality. To me, with the market trends is one way to look at it. Actually, I'll just do this back. Kusama. This is another one that's been a good show banger. Where we talked about, our entry is the gold line. You got multiple entries on the show on the way up. The importance of taking profits, because how much they can actually come down. But then again, how fast they can. We gave 2 more entries over in here, these little dots, and then how fast they can take off again. So just with us talking on the show, it doesn't look like that bottom entry hit, but that one did. In 4 days. And we know our goal is to walk up to these higher percentages. So if you missed this one again, just wait. This one clearly has some volatility to it. Wait for a red day, buy it, and join the ride to these much higher percentages that Kusama has in it. I think Kusama is going to be an interesting ride. It does have this as a key area to break, though. Something to keep in mind. Right? But it could pop very quickly to the next one, and that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to walk these out and see what's doing. And we just left a buy position saying it's coming up, so we have upwards motion. Oops. Healthy sign. Happy to see. We know in this area here it was important to hold when we were talking about it in here and to stay above, which it never did. Well, we know this is also now going to become resistance. What's up in here? Casper, for the love of Casper. We deleted all the drawings. I shouldn't have done, did I? Or was I just have them hidden? Oh, I think I must have. I have no idea what's all this now. Oh, 5 minutes. What the heck? Oh, no. Okay. I must have been trading something there. We never got the stink bid. We did get this one. I think we had 2 bids in here. If we zoom in.
Can you zoom in?
I'm on it.
When you're ready.
Oh, did that one actually miss? That one may have actually missed. There we are. My bad. I thought we had 2 in there. That was the other side. Stink bid missed in here. But we also always say, you can always just buy where it's at. Don't stress about the next few days of where it goes up and losing that little tiny bit to be out of the race, because we are going back up, like we said, up into this area. I've never been in this Casper trade, which is ironic because we called it just beautifully. It's done literally everything we've said from the day Amir came on the show to talk about it. We're in just left a buy position down here. We're showing strength. I mean, this is still a decent belly. We're in the belly of a micro bear. This is my favorite time to buy. We're showing strength in this area again. It wants to go. And if the money flows in the market this week, absolutely. And I won't move those. We'll leave those as a miss. But yeah, anywhere in here, I'll leave it alone. But anywhere in here to walk up, these are nice percentages. This is, fun 25%. It'll take a few days, a couple of weeks. Terrible. We talked about a shifted narrative from going into AI into gaming. hopefully when the memes can chill a bit. And I gave you 3 trades that I personally entered down in the belly in here. And I said I would, if it got down lower, that I would be dollar cost entering that and holding. I'm still in this position. We're seeing healthy signs. We broke the trend. It's retested on the daily. I think it's only a matter of time before PYR wants to get running to some, man, my computer's really laggy, some new levels of old time values. And this has great user base, product that's doing well. And we have a narrative of this, but as we can even see in this rectangle, this is what it seems to be fighting right now. And we are about to come up to a bullish cross. Same thing again, you know, if you zoomed in here, you might get a decent discount on an entry in a little bit and take the ride. Take the ride on Vulcan Forge.
It's a nice watch and wait entry, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
in a couple days, just check it out every morning and see. You know, I love it. This is PYR is a good watch and wait one.
It's been fun. I played in and out of PYR for a long time. It's been very good to me. Big Time is a newer one with the same thing, great products, user base, decent team. I've been in and out of this a few times. This was on our hunt when it was a lot cheaper, I believe. It was, yeah. Can't remember what it was, but it was well. This was a big winner. We've had the cool off. We've have the higher high. We have the bullish cross. Same thing. I got in down here, full disclosure, and I'm gonna ride this one back up to this local high, hopefully here. So this is a longer hold. And same thing with the gaming narrative. This could be good. Same thing with what I just said. If you're not in it and you're looking at getting in it, you may have an opportunity to zoom in and, you know, get a little bit of a discount somewhere in here might seem reasonable. Just we're up here on our way back, you know, save yourself a few fractions of cents. Those add up. But with money, market flow and everything, remember, these are the ones that when these things take off, they take off. But also long-term hold. When I take profits, I'll be leaving pieces in on all of these. Decentraland, another one we got in on the belly here that we've been talking about in Discord. And we just want to walk this one up and then decide. This one's a little more short term. Not that I don't believe in the project. Mana is awesome. It's got team. It's got everything. We'll just see where the best time is for the capital is, just because it's healthy percentage, time to take some profits. And there may be a better trade at the time at our peak, but happy. This is what I like to see. So for the 3 gaming tokens we gave you last week, when everybody was panicking, you're in profits. You're doing well. You're in double-digit profits, high double-digit profits. Speaking of entries, we gave you 3, 2 hit on Link, and Link is continuing. So we just take the middle of the 2 that hit to right now. You're at 11.38% after some decent retracement consolidation. It's looking like a little cool off, which is nice to see because it's in this area. So for all those in Link that took this trade, we may be in this little spot here for 4 hours. We will have to, you guessed it, retest the outside of the top of this. You might get some nice bounces in and out. We might get a rocket. And with Link hasn't had its due. Been saying this for ages. This is cheap, even still for Link, in my opinion. So if you have missed Link, same thing, zoom in, buying a little red, and will go. If you don't know much about it, I mean, it's what connects everything on there too, basically, and it's no reason that it can't get to these levels of our targets here.
And it's
Nice.
on every single I think I said this to Primo last night. It's on every single list. We write down.
I
To just see on different timelines, so at least keep an eye on.
I remember buying this when it was pennies, and that's the funny thing. And you've seen some tokens now that you're trading that are in dollars, and I would talk about when they're pennies.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's great to see. And then you learn these ecosystems and you see what's happening, and you learn the market. Remember, red days, I get excited. Unless, and you also learn lessons. Like I said, I probably should have had my stop losses higher. I was avoiding wick outs, but I had to round trip a couple because they were just set at that bounce back period. And where I was always on edge, it's like, is it going to go more? Is it going to hit? And learning lesson every time, but the patience this time and being able to unplug and do IRL and focus on that, I think has also helped with our trading, to be honest. So that has been linked since we've been doing it. I'll leave that there. And then I had a few requests, and I don't know if you guys can see the comments now that you're back. So if there's any questions, I can address them. But the two requests I had were ICP and stacks, which we haven't done since, I got called a maxi because I was telling people to buy it when it was, when was that? Whenever we started, in here. When did we start?
Screw him, Pope.
I tell you. Was there any comments?
You TA what you want to TA? No, everyone's just hanging and listening. We're with you.
Well, happy Tuesday. Happy show 56. Thanks for helping keep our mind off of stuff and having something to do with you guys.
I'm so glad you said that, dude, because I was going to say, so glad we're doing this tonight. I just need to change and something else to focus on.
I bet.
It's like, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So two a day makes us happy. So midnight and 7.
Oh, can you imagine if we're in the groove and we could do 2 a day? It would be so much fun.
I mean, we did talk about just streaming us hanging. Sorry, I'm just chilling now. People don't want to learn anymore. I'm just joking. Okay, go ahead. Bye.
Yeah, that is true. And there's news coming that soon too, actually. ICP. Let's do this. Let's rip it apart from scratch.
That went off. What is this? Daily? Crazy.
This is a prime definition of parabolic. Let's keep that in perspective when you said that went off.
Yeah. Touche.
So we can see just in that from the past, just jumps so much that there is a lot of movement, and this was brought on the show a few times. We have talked about this in the past, and we have marked it up, and we did actually have a few entries on this. So if anybody long held this since we started, hella great job. When we look at something new like this, first thing I always like to do is look for areas of consolidation, support, and resistance where price is fighting or was fighting.
A prideful comment for us in America. I took almost 21% on ICP, took a profit yesterday. Left some on the table, but can't be upset about 20%.
Hey, if you're upset about 20%, I don't know how to make you happy. Like, let's be real. That's fabulous. Congratulations. Love hearing that kind of stuff. And what a difference it makes to trading too, right? Like, it just becomes I find it comes a little less stressful until you're doing actually, the swinging. Different story, of course. But these slower trades that we map out on the show like this, I always kind of find them relaxing. because you can just check in every now and then and be like, yeah, just like Kate and I've been doing the last few days. We trust the TA we've done, and we've been able to do. I feel like we've got so much done in our days lately by uh, kind of addressing that. To be honest, am I talking to myself?
No. Everything you're saying makes complete sense. Yeah, we've been really kind of addressing things and how we want it to look and
Look at that.
what percent you've been talking me into putting different percentages into different things in the long term now, just because I know.
That's
I
crazy.
know.
It's like these lines actually mean things. Okay, but that's enough.
Oh, Bunny White's here. Hello. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Uh, that's enough of the I think support resistance that we have in there on the dailies. We've clearly blasted through them. I don't chase green candles. We talk about that. Like, if you're not in this, there's no reason to be jumping in this right now, unless you want to give your money away, taxable loss benefit, perhaps. And the reason I say that is there's always going to be a pullback. And look, we put the indicators on critical greed. So we can probably make guesses that it's going to come down to these levels somewhere, but we have a nice spread still. So this may just be a case where it's a big pullback and then it's still off again, because that is up. And this is where you have to have faith in your indicators. On the weekly, up. We held this compression in here on the weekly. So we held this area. We've broken into here. Now it's going to want to either just continue to get the heck out of here, or it's going to fight me here. And you can see in the past, it kind of fought for a bit, and then it was off to this next area.
What's that? Oh, it's just getting smaller and smaller. I was going to ask what that percentage was from where it's at now to the next point of resistance.
Let's draw this in on the weekly here.
Oh, you're going all the way up. This is ambitious.
Just trying to see what kind of makes sense. Yep. Let's get down to the weekly. Now that's interesting that we did this on the daily and it fits the weekly. So it's nice to see when that really lines up like that.
So that's just strong. That's strong.
Very strong. Even though, the days make up the weeks and blah, blah, blah. But
sure.
I mean, that's definitely showing a little more strength. But when we hit it last time, it just cooled off and consolidated. It compressed, and we always say compression builds, but it is a bullish market. We are in a buy situation on stochastic. We are in a little bit of greed, and ours is firing as well. So this is where I would zoom in if you really wanted to be in this, and look for where you might get that entry. And it makes sense to me that this 1993, it's pulled back and touched this line a bunch. Critical firing, we'll probably get one, maybe. But if you'd want to take that risk and you're thinking, hey, long shot here, is it going to make it to this weekly box? To answer your question, that's 87%.
I mean, that's all right.
So, and this is coming into a buy soon. So it is also saying, hey, price is probably going to cool off a bit and go down. So ICP, if you're in it, I still think it's bullish. It's probably going to play around in this area a little bit by the look of it. So don't panic if it pulls back a bit if you're in it for the longer haul, especially if you got in it early with us on the show. Congratulations. Yeah, I think we started January, right? So somewhere in here. So nice. That's awesome. The other one was Stacks, which was is one of my faves since we started, which was in January here. And it's just continued to rocket. It's pulled back in the last few days, which is good. So let's stick indicators away so we can use them as confluence.
What did they call you when you were pushing this? Not pushing it, not financial advice, fucking course. But you know what I mean? What were they?
What you talking about now? Oh, a maxi? What did I
What's
say? I
that?
was what Desi's like, oh, you're becoming a Stacks maxi. And that was awesome. That was funny. No, I just think follow the trends. Like a lot of the ordinals and stuff in memes or in NFTs were being built with this technology, and it's the first layer solution for Bitcoin. I think it's the first layer solution for Bitcoin. At least it is for what I'm aware of. And there's so much potential with this technology, and we caught it early, and it is still early for this tech. And I'm kicking myself because I knew back in here days, and I faded it. Full disclosure, then just because I had other things on the mind and plate, and damn, you know. But here we are today, and there's always another trade, as we always say.
Desi said, I guess Counterparty would have been the first Bitcoin. I2 technically. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Layer two.
Layer 2. Thank you.
See, thank you. I only started learning about layer 2 Bitcoin recently. So see, this is why I love this shit. There's that was a rabbit hole that took a lot of my time this weekend, was going into the whole bitmaps and ordinals and rune stones and to this should be daily. That's what's wrong in my head. Anybody wondering, I still have not pulled the trigger on any of it. Interesting. Just gonna clean it up for what I'm seeing right now here. So
Desi was an early ordinal inscriber, running a full node and everything. It's way easier now.
are you serious?
I'm going to assume he's dead serious.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. It's amazing. You get when you meet people in this space. What happened there? And there's so many different avenues of this space as you're starting to learn. And that is a terrible channel. I'm just trying to clean it up. The depth of knowledge of, people you get to know in the space and the breadth of it, it's amazing.
I feel like Desi should come and hang out with us one day because he keeps saying all this crap that I want to talk to you about in the show. Because he said sub 100K club, baby. I want to be able to laugh about that. I don't know what it means.
We've had some nice late night convos, and I miss them. To be honest, buds. And I've invited him. I'd love to get him on. I think it's also bandwidth for him as well. Spectacular mind. I love the aha when I finally figured out who he was after all those years. Um, actually, you were there for that. Oh my god! This, I mean,
I was there.
yeah, when I told you I figured out finally who he was with,
Oh, sorry. I thought you said I was there to
no,
know this person. Never mind.
no. When I had the aha that it wasn't just
Mm,
some random, that I've actually known him in the space for quite some time, and we've had many intelligent talks.
there was a lot
Uh,
of that this year.
yeah, this is it's looking like it wants to bounce, but every time it starts to want to curl, it does. We get these periods of growth and then off again. I mean, this is where it gets a little trickier for these entries on things like this, and where zooming in helps. Oh, this would have been a beautiful entry. Um, and it doesn't look like we're. What does look like we're coming up to a micro bear here on the 4 hour. And if that does pan out, it really needs to hold the support. You may get a couple of stink bid, wick bids down into here. If this does start to turn a bit, and then the price action of the candles, is somewhere down here. So you might get, stink bid wick or something. Now this might be a short, this might be a long. It's always kind of tough to tell. And that's why money flow is so important. And if you've been in this much profit and it's consolidating, we know consolidating typically builds pressure. It's maintaining this upwards channel. Stacks for me, like I said, just buy it, hold it, thank me later. I'm not expecting a big, massive pull down from our entries that we've been talking. But it is healthy to have these after big ups, these cool offs, and then let's take another big up. So short term stacks. Well, one day I'll learn. I promise. Maybe not. Today's just not that day. On the 1 hour, we can see we got that belly. It might look like, just because of that. Oops, I'm trying to get it bigger into the center of the screen for you here. Just because of this one, it is kind of pulling it down, but we have a lot of support here. A few whoops down. So you might get the infamous Supreme Crypto Stink bid. But yeah, put 3 entries in, boom, 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 because it kind of looks like we're going to hold this area and go. And that's the beauty of zooming in a bit, because yeah, this could just start a candle like this, boom, and we're off again. So you might think, oh yeah, a bearish cross is coming and it's going to take us down. I'm going to get an entry down in here. Zoom in. We're in a bullish market. We broke down here in, quite some time. That's a long time in crypto. Starting to curl on the 2s. 1's showing maybe some possible weakness. Entry on Bollinger here, entry here, right at the middle of the road. I'd put a couple of stink bids in. Sure.
It's just so you know, we're at the got a little 5 ski left until 8 o'clock. We've got a nice little lineup of things to watch. You know what I mean? Things that don't need to be looked at. I really this amount of things to watch, even though I'm watching a bunch, but just for a longer period of time. I'm learning a lot from just these ones rather than being so overwhelmed with everything.
With a whole ton of them, right?
Yeah,
And
I mean,
that's
there's a lot to look at, but to actually go and regularly watch kind of on the 4 hours you're living your life, it's really kind of immersed me in it, even if I haven't taken all the trades that I've called or you've called or, you
Mhm.
know. Yeah.
and to go back and look at them and answer. No, it's been a great, interesting perspective with the whole touching grass and taking slower trades and seeing the rewards of your faith in your TA, your faith in the indicators that we use, and watch it play out. Because there are, just like everybody else on the red days, yeah, it hurts. Like we said in the Discord, and Supreme was laughing at me. 5-figure losses suck. But that's part of the game. That's part of the budget. That's why we look at percentages. That it helps. Too many coins leads to analysis paralysis for me. Yeah, totally. I try to find you guys good entries on tokens. Just because I'm finding you a bunch doesn't mean I'm always in those ones. And then over diversification too can also lead to you chasing the pumps because your diversification hadn't had that pump yet. So you're having that FOMO, I missed out. Then you go over there and people have taken the profits out of there and they just bought what you left. And that just cranked 25-30%. You're like, ah.
And then you come here and you hang out with us and you air your grievances and we talk you through it and get you to love red again.
Yes. And strategy, having cash on hand for red days. Don't be an all in because there are pullbacks. We never know how fast money can leave the market. Well, we know how fast it can happen like that. We've all experienced it if you've been with us since the beginning. If you've been with us in crypto in the space for the last few runs, you know that it can happen in a blink of an eye. You can wake up to your money gone or being worthless, or being
even the best trader, right? I mean,
yeah. Or being on an exchange that you can no longer access. So there's all those kind of things to add the elements of spice to this game. But how you manage it, the people you manage with it, that makes all the difference. Get wrecked, right? Oh, been there. I think we've all been there. It's a rite of passage at this point, in my opinion. Hey, you're at your all-time high of not making any Chicken Little or sheep decisions tomorrow. Just letting you know. Not
when you come up to an anniversary of the last time you about fixing. So in my head, it's always about addictions. But like usually when you fall off the wagon again is when you hit your anniversary. So I'm coming up to 17. One day at a time, got to stay strong.
You got this. You got this. I'm in long trades. I'm in the positions we talked about on the show. And I'm excited for where they're at. Thanks for everybody's understandings with the either technical difficulties, the slight delays, and the movement of a couple of shows. We do appreciate to be able to work our IRLs around with you as well. And it still looks like we're pretty sure we're going to do midnight Mondays. So every Monday from now on will be midnights, and we'll shoot for 7 p.m. As best as we always can. And trade smart.
We might add little things here and there. It depends on what the requests are for, right? Because we were talking about doing the occasional noob show again, but we'll talk about some stuff and see what may work for everybody without all of us pulling our hair out and not having any quality of life. How's that?
Exactly. I'm more in regards to the daily fix of just the money flow cycle and the trades.
Dude, it's all part of it. This is what we're all learning right now.
We got some tricks up the sleeve and some stuff coming. I'm excited for it.
Totally.
Trade smart. Take profits. If you're ever unsure, it's better to sit with your money than it is to sit with hopium and dreams of what could have been.
Watch the flow. Trust your TA.
Because,
we're not financial advice.
If you're not taking profits, if this is your first big up and you didn't take any profits on it and you just got wiped a bunch of your unrealized gains, let this be your lesson now. When money wants to move in this market and leave it, it will do it fast, and a lot of it.